नहीं होगा क्लास
Or maybe they were suddenly non-serious, considering most of the lessons are on PC, so they thought that English is also on PC. Okay, I'd like you all to quickly mark your attendance. Quickly mark your attendance, please. All three of you, quickly mark your attendance. Hosan, quickly mark your attendance. Bete. Okay, thank you very much. All right. In this article, Alex Renton, oh, haven't I? Okay. In this article, Alex Renton writes about his experience of Faye. Is it Faye or Fa? Fa, the traditional breakfast served on street stalls in Vietnam. Hanoi is the capital city of the Republic of Vietnam. Where is Vietnam? Any idea?
Europe.
Europe, Vietnam.
Vietnam, ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, it's in Asia.
Yes, it's in Asia. Where? Can you guess?
The southeast near the Philippines.
Very good. It's in the southeast near Philippines, close to Indonesia and Thailand and Cambodia. Cambodia is no, Cambodia is different. Okay. Now,
Ma'am, China can.
okay. Now, pho or pho is a Vietnamese soup consisting of broth. Broth is Urdu mein yakhni, stock, okay? Rice noodles, herbs, and meat, usually mutton, usually beef, sometimes chicken. Pho, pho is a popular food in Vietnam where it is served in households, street stalls, and restaurants countrywide. Pho is considered Vietnam's national dish. Remember, and this is what it looks like. Okay, and it is eaten with chopsticks and spoon both. Okay. Also, pho is eaten for breakfast most of the time. Oh, are you feeling okay?
Yes, ma'am.
जी
The बहुत है ना सिर्फ वही चलता है क्या नाम है कॉफिन डांस for for my own convenience and your own, what I did was I looked up the article that we're about to read from the newspaper. And just like the previous articles that we have read, this article was also published in The Guardian. All right. Every morning, thousands of Hanoi citizens start the day with a steaming bowl of pho, the street food at the heart of Vietnam's life and culinary renaissance after years of war and famine. Okay, this is going to be the background for the text that Vietnam has had a lot of wars and because of war, there was always a shortage of food, which resulted in famine. Famine is when people start growing thin because of lack of food and nourishment. Obviously, when you will not have enough to eat, you'll grow thinner and thinner and thinner. Just like people in Somalia are experiencing famine currently. Okay, so Vietnam was also at a war for a very long period of time, and there was famine in the country, and this particular dish, which originated around 800, 500 to 800 years ago, um, served to be a sort of a new rebirth for Vietnam. Is this the best soup in the world? Now that is the question. The the magazine article is written by Alex Renton on Sunday, 16th May 2004, British Standard Time. Okay. Now I request you guys to take turns and read the text. If you want to read it from the screen, good enough. If you want to read it from the book, even then it's okay. Yes, please. Rafik, I'd like you to begin.
7 a.m. on a cold morning in Hanoi's old town, it's not hard to find one of the world's great breakfasts. You simply keep an eye open for a doorway full of steam and a cluster of people on ankle-high stools. These are sure signs of a good place for Hanoi's noodle soup pho.
Yes. Over here in Pakistan, when we are traveling from one city to the other, have you ever noticed that your parents, if they need a cup of tea, will they stop at any random tea stall or a hotel, or will they stop at a particular one?
Particular
What would make them stop in that particular place?
because they go there more often and they're used to going there.
Okay. Why do you think they chose that place in the first place, that particular tea area for their in the first place? Why? Just because they were passing by and they thought, oh, ye to bada pyara restaurant hai, idhar utarte hain.
Probably the advertisement.
Okay, the advertising, or someone recommended it, isn't it so? um, what happens is, the tea lovers, they know that, like in Pakistan, I'm talking about Pakistan, because there was this time when I used to travel a lot with my father, as family, and my father was a tea lover, and he used to say that one should always stop. I'm not talking about the lavish restaurants. Okay, I'm talking about the simple dhabas. Okay, now my father used to say that you should, if ever you want to have a wonderful meal and a lovely cup of tea, you should always stop at a stall, at a dhaba, or at a restaurant, the roadside restaurant, where there would be lots of trucks. Okay, the local trucks. Okay, reason being, the truck drivers always need that extra strong cup of tea, that kadak tea, isn't it? So they would only stop at a place in a large number when the people, the restaurant is serving good food and the best tea ever. So back in those days, there's this place, Miyajika Hotel, close to Lala Musa. Back in those days, it was not a grand thing. It was a very small, dhaba kind of a thing. And back, I am talking about 1996, 1999. That was when we were traveling a lot from Rawalpindi, Islamabad to Lahore. And we used to, on every travel, we used to stop over there and, have a cup of tea, a little paratha or something, because and it was never, ever was it spoilt or anything. It was always delicious. So similarly, um, the first paragraph tells you that the doorway is full of steam from the broth, from the cooking pot, cluster of people on ankle high stools. Ankle high stools are those small stools that are close to the floor. If you ever visit a village, हमारे यहाँ भी villages में वो छोटे वाले पीढ़े नहीं होते जिन्हें हम कहते हैं उर्दू में पंजाबी में पीड़ा कहते हैं. choti pidi jo hoti hai. That's the kind of schools we are talking about over here. Both these two signs, that large number of people and a lot of steam coming out of the doorway, these are the signs that this place is serving the best um, stay in Hanoi. Yes, Mohsen, second paragraph.
You you could bottle that in incense and
No,
drink
no,
it
no, over
under
here.
the breath of
ये यहाँ से पढ़िएगा, please. Read this paragraph. This one over here.
the aromatic fog that wafts like a banner from the soup cauldron and over the customers is the source advertisement.
Advertisement.
Seafood advertisement.
Papers.
Seafood
Fake.
vapors are, as one Vietnamese poet puts it, like the clouds of incense that make us quicken our steps and climb the mountain in order to arrive at the pagoda.
Good. Okay. Now notice this. The fey vapors, that is the aroma that wafts or that rises from the bowl of fey, is has been described like this by a poet. Like the clouds of incense. Incense is that sweet smelling fragrant stick. हमारे यहाँ उसको क्या कहते हैं, अगरबत्ती कहते हैं हमारे यहाँ, ठीक है. Incense is the a long stick. When you burn it, it gives off a beautiful fragrance. Okay, so the vapors or the steam that rises from a bowl of fey is like the clouds of incense that make us quicken our steps and climb the mountain in order to arrive at the pagoda. Remember, pagoda is the Buddhist temple of worship. Okay, so number one, what kind of figure of speech is this?
Personification.
Personification, no.
Oh, simile.
Oh, Shakar just joined us. Yes, it's a simile. Shakar, I'd like you to quickly mark your attendance, please. It is the simile. Very good. And what does he say? That it fills you up with energy, the fragrance, the aroma of the bowl that rises from the bowl fills you up with a lot of energy so that you can move out with energy throughout the day. Aman, I'd like you to read on from here, please.
You could bottle that incense and drink it. Under the base of meat or fish stock, there are whispers of licorice, onion, cinnamon, smells with the promise of warmth and comfort. It is the smell of a national obsession. Pho is much more than just breakfast to the North Vietnamese. It is the soul of the nation, a contribution to human happiness, and an addiction worse than tobacco. It's also an enduring inspiration to Vietnamese writers. Pho is a full-on sensual experience. When Vietnamese talk of pho, they think of we say that rice is spouse, whereas pho is a lover, says my friend Hoang. When she was an adolescent during Vietnamese famine years, pho was an unaffordable luxury.
Luxury, okay. I get it that our book censors a lot of stuff. Okay, but since this is text, we're going to simply look at it as text. Okay, let's not think of things in a different sense. Okay, now for them, for the Vietnamese people, okay, it's the soul of the nation. Okay, अच्छा ठीक है. For the Vietnamese, what they think is over here they have from from hair till hair. They are describing what the soup is like, what the different condiments that make up the soup fay. Under the bay, you can bottle that incense and drink it. That is, you can put this the incense that we are talking about over here in the previous paragraph. You can bottle up that fragrance, that aroma, and you can drink it up. Okay, and how do you drink it? Because Fay is basically drunk and eaten both at the same time under the base of meat or fish stock. Okay, the base is the clear stock that is either made of meat or of fish. There are whispers of licorice, whispers, slight, a very slight taste of sweetener, onion, cinnamon, and all of these smells, these aroma combined, they promise of warmth and comfort once you eat them. Not only upon smelling, but once you take them in, they give you a sense of warmth all inside, and they are very relaxing, very comforting. It is the smell of a national obsession. Okay, that it shows that eating fay is a national obsession. This is obsession is when you love something to the level, to the extent that it becomes, you can't live without it, sort of like an addiction. Fay is much more than breakfast to the North Vietnamese. How? Because it is the soul of the nation. This is where, okay, it's much more the breakfast to the North Vietnamese. It is the best soup in the world and the soul of the nation. Because it being Fay being the breakfast, this is how they start their day. And they live to eat Fay. Contribution to human happiness. That's the next way to describe it. Okay? And an addiction worse than tobacco. The Vietnamese people, they are addicting to eating Fay. They love it so much that they keep eating it day in and day out. It is for them a very important meal, or an important, just like for us Pakistanis, biryani holds, nobody is a match to biryani. Similarly, for them, Fay is equally important. Shakar, I'd like you to read this paragraph, please. The one that begins with I get up early.
I get up early for my first pho, though every Hanoi resident has a favorite pho spot.
It's
The
Fay.
best advice
Oh, sorry, it's Fa. Fa, like the soap. Fa, F-A, Fa.
for my first pho, though every Hanoi resident has a favorite pho spot. The best advice is to stop at a store with a large crowd around it. On this principle by Dong Jan Marshall. Uh, on this principle by Dongjian Market in the city's medieval merchants district, I found Tao Van's portable restaurant. She has set it up on the steps of a shuttered shop, and around her are gathered a dozen customers, each of them sitting on a tiny plastic stool of the sort you might see in a kindergarten. Um, Behind these people, others queue patiently for their turn. Nearby are motor scooters hovering to deliver takeaways.
Takeaways. Thank you very much. Now, the important thing I want you guys to notice over here in this paragraph is how the scene has been described. Because you people often have to write descriptive writing, I want you to see how the stall the best stall or the writer's favorite stall is being described. Look how within these few, within this paragraph, he has explained not only what it looks like, but also what kind of customers it has, what kind of sitting arrangement it has, and how other people are patiently waiting for their turn in a queue. Towards the end, in the last sentence, the writer describes how the motor scooters are also waiting around the stall, hovering to deliver takeaways. Okay? While you read something, you must also notice how to describe places, how to describe people. Okay? There's nothing much that needs explanation in this paragraph, only just focus on how things are being described. Everyone has had a turn once?
Yeah.
Okay. Rafe, your turn again. This paragraph, please.
The centerpiece of Thao Wan's soup stall is two huge, saucer-shaped wicker baskets. She carries this load through the narrow streets on a yoke across her shoulders before dawn every morning. In one basket bubbles the cauldron of stock over a charcoal-fired stove. A smaller pot within the cauldron holds boiling water. This stuff is said to give Pho its name. Word is pronounced like feu, the French for fire, and may have come with the French colonialists from coffre-feu, a portable stuff. Picnic gear like that is one of the very few good things the French brought to Vietnam. Another is great bread.
Thank you. All right. Um, the first, initially, again, description, how the lady, Tao Wan, carries the soup to her stall every day. She has two wicker baskets. Wicker baskets are basically they are woven out of strips of bamboo, okay, or strips of a special kind of a grass which grows around lakes usually, okay, and she carries them on a yoke. A yoke is a long stick. You must have seen how, if you've ever seen old Chinese or movies or cartoons, even in Pakistan, you must have seen how there are, these street stalls that which carries a long stick, and on the both at the each end of the stick, you balance, you know, a basket or any platter, or at times even gallons of, if you want to carry water, you will get balance two buckets on it. So that stick serves as a yoke, and it is carried over here. You place it on this area and you use both your arms to carry the yoke, okay? And one
Yeah,
basket,
even in Muslim Kung Fu Hee, Motu carries the water by balancing from the stairs up and down.
exactly, exactly. So she carries this load through the narrow street. So it shows that the area where she lives, or the area where our writer is present, it does not have wide streets. The streets are quite narrow. It shows that this is not a very lavish, this is not a posh area. Okay. This is where the common man lives, on a yoke across her shoulder before dawn every morning. So, because Fa is a breakfast meal, obviously the seller will have to get up very early or somewhere in the middle of the night, prepare the broth, because obviously it takes a lot of time to cook. They do not use pressure cookers to quicken the cooking process. They let it cook on a low flame for at least 2 to 3 hours, so that the meat will be as tender as cotton. Okay. And so later on, Tao Wan, she, strains it, prepares it, and brings it all the way from her home on her shoulders to her stall. Before dawn, before the sun rises. In one basket bubbles the cauldron of stock over a charcoal fired stove. How is it cooked? Charcoal fired stove. A smaller pot within the a smaller pot within the cauldron holds boiling water. So within that pot, there will be a different pot in that cauldron. Get it? Cauldron is big. Within that cauldron, you have the stock cooking. Within that stock, you have the second pot, which keeps the boiling water inside. This stove is said to give Fa its name. The word is pronounced like Fa, the French for fire, and may have come with the French colonists from Coffre Fra, a portable stove. Remember, Vietnam was once a colony, just like Britain once colonized the subcontinent, where now later on after freedom we have Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India. Similarly, um, Vietnam was a French colony back then. Okay. And so the French, when they came to this area, they brought with them the portable stove, the stove that you can carry from one place to the other. Picnic gear like that is one of the very few good things that the French brought to Vietnam. Another is great bread. So there are two great things that the French have brought to Vietnam with them. One is the portable stove. The second is a good bread. Okay, because until and unless you do not have a good bread to eat your meal with, you do not feel satisfied, you do not feel satiated. Okay, I think this much would be enough for today. The rest of the text we will cover tomorrow, inshallah. Okay, we are also running out of time. Thank you. What I would like you to do is, as home task, read the rest of the text. I will cover it with you tomorrow again, but you should have a pre-read just in case. Clear? Thank you ever so much. Make sure that you have marked your attendance before you leave. Any questions from what we have read till now? Okay, Shakar says he doesn't like biryani. What does Shakar like to eat? The most amongst Pakistani cuisine. Okay, Shakar is not answering. All right. Thank you very much, dear children. Um, okay. Shakar says he's not very fond of the Pakistani cuisine. All right, doesn't matter. It's okay. It's not a compulsion. We don't mind. All right. Thank you so very much. Oh, क्या हो रहा है?